Our video today is about the damages and experiences that are taking place in the world for the use of the great kings of the jinn, who the Prophet Solomon used to prepare for the great epic war led by the Antichrist and his followers from the jinn to control the world. What are those technological experiences? Where are they taking place? And what are the fiery codes of the jinn that they are trying to decipher to subjugate their king? And who is the minister of the Prophet Solomon that they are trying to summon to help them achieve their goals? But before starting, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all that is new, and press the like button. If we look closely at human history, we will not see a page full of wonders and supernaturals, as it is the 10th century BC, when the prophet of God Solomon was born and lived. During this period the jinn and man lived side by side. Birds, animals and monsters fought along with men in wars. Giants beat drums and goblins obeyed their master in everything he asks for, and whoever disobeys was locked up in a bottle or a ring. There is no doubt that this world is magical and has great appeal, and if it was not so, modern arts such as cinema based on fantasy would not have been able to achieve its enormous fame and success. What we will present today, some of you may hear it for the first time. That they are trying to revive the kingdom of the Prophet Solomon and control the world through controlling the jinn from all kinds. Many may think that it is a myth, but they forget that Israel established its nuclear entity over the ruins of myths, and we have not heard anyone from the wide world frowning upon them for that. And going into metaphysics is not a myth, but rather a science in itself, as the science of research in other planets, where our conversation does not contradict with the constants of science and what was revealed in the heavenly books. So where is the myth of what we will say? Is it strange to hear about great powers that possess hydrogen weapons that can destroy the world, and despite that they are dozens of times trying to use metaphysics in order to control the capabilities of people? No, on the contrary, it is not surprising that the destructive power of the great powers does not mean control, but rather literally means destruction. But control includes subjugating peoples, changing their perceptions, and bringing them into the great circle of control, even if it requires the use of magic and the use of jinn. Perhaps, is a surreal and vague picture, but it is the truth that everyone must be aware of. The United States, Israel, and other countries and entities seek to take advantage of the energy of the jinn as never before and at the highest levels. Today the Stanford Institute for American Research is funding Zionism to revive that idea that seems to be Hollywood with distinction. Super secret and dangerous tests in an attempt to demystify the kings of the jinn who were under the grip of the Prophet Solomon and try to contact them, but this time through new technology. We only know that it has reached advanced stages, and if we knew more about it, we would not have described it as confidential. But what has been leaked from the start of these amazing and dangerous experiences is that Israel is trying to seek the help of the so-called Taus, who is the leader of the jinn, and the minister of the Prophet Solomon of the jinn, who contributed to building the temple in the past according to their beliefs, but they couldn't make him submit to them because he is the leader of the jinn and was no longer obliged to serve the Jews after the death of the Prophet Solomon, so he became free. So it is the major obstacle facing researchers in order to satisfy the elders of the jinn in a scientific way, and not by the miracle that only God has bestowed on the prophets and some righteous saints, but through technological methods for the invisible fiery creatures. This is what huge research centers have sought as the center of the Stanford Institute for American Research. But after many years in which attempts were exhausted and less reliance on it, the interest in Zionist financing moved to a more massive project, CERN reactor. Or the Large Hydrogen Collision, which was built on the Swiss-French border in a remote area and began operating on the 11th of September in the year 2008, and the work of the collider will continue until the year 2030. It aims to discover the smart material responsible for the synthesis of the rest of the substances in the universe, which is the stated goal, but the primary goal and the intentions that was not disclosed and not touched upon are attempts to summon demons and discover the secret of the physiological code. In order to reach their goals, such as controlling the kings of the elves in order to exploit them and enslave them as it went before. And achieve the dream of the Zionists to the greater state of Israel and the restoration of the glories of the kingdom of the Prophet Solomon, where the grinding wars were between humans and other creatures, and the preparation of followers from the jinn to their Antichrist called the Evil Eye, in preparation for the rule of the world and full control over it. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. See you on the next video.